Yes, we are live. So hello everybody, good evening. We are live on Littler Quaker Distillery page, Sip and Share page and group and YouTube. Yes, so let's see. Good evening, Paul.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello. All right. Oh yeah, let's just wait for all the notifications to go out. If you are joining us and you are watching, please tell you what, give us my voice hopefully. Tell you what, give us a comment, tell us what you're drinking. Hi Rachel. Shouted then, Rachel, so I didn't even shout. Right, so I've just asked Paul what he's drinking, and we're going to start on what I feel is quite a controversial note. Hi Louise. Paul, share with us. Paul from Littler Quaker Distillery, what are you drinking?
So I've got a little, we call it a cocktail, but just a little gin a Quaker Gin Original, with a double shot of that, shot of Aperol in there, some fresh lime juice, some plain tonic water, and some orange bitters.
Oh my good Lord. Okay, so I'm going to chuck this out there and say I feel like I need to run some sort of survey. Gin with Aperol, discuss. Is that a regular for you in your house? Gin with Aperol?
It has over the summer. During lockdown, it was one that I tried during lockdown when I was furloughed, and it was just amazing. It was a really nice summer drink, and I was like, wow, I'm having that.
I actually gave away a litre of Aperol the other day because last year my mum was like, buy Aperol. She'd had some in Italy and she was like, buy it. I was like, I don't think I'm going to like it. Didn't like it, gave it away. Rachel says Aperol and gin. So yeah, I can't even join you because I've given it away.
Aperol Spritz, I'm not so keen on. Leanne loves them, Aperol Spritz. I'm not so keen because they're a little bit too bitter. But when you put it with the gin and the orange bitters, it just takes the edge off it. I think gin's got such a nice deep flavour to it. It sits really well.
Well, I'm going to join you in the original. We've binned the measures, as we know. So good evening. Oh, we're just 3 points. Good evening, everybody. As you can see, I've gone with Kate Gin Genie. Latest Facebook discussion has been solved through there. So, Paul, hello. I'm just making a little. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm dropping a tiny bit of elderflower in it.
Okay, yeah, that works. It does work. Yeah.
Don't know whether that's controversial or not. I don't know. Let's get it open, and then we can do a little cheers. You're probably going to look at my gin and think, "What the hell has she put on that? That is ridiculous." But cheers. Cheers, everybody. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday? Oh, it smells nice. Wow, it tastes even better. Delicious. Right, Paul, from Darlow.
Monte Darlow, yes.
Whole new world, whole new word and world to me. So, Paul, we're streaming on your Littler Quaker Distillery page, and I did the review of the original. Is that what you call it? Original signature?
Yeah, it's original signature edition. Yeah.
Original. And your Ruby Red. And I actually watched back because I wrote the review, put it on the website yesterday. Had to watch back the live, in particular of the Ruby Red, because I still had a fear of it, and I've had to remind myself there is no fear. It's delicious. There is no fear. So tell us a bit about. Let's start from the beginning. Tell us a story. Tell us a bit about the Littler Quaker Distillery, how this all came about.
So, probably 3-4 years ago now. About 4 years. I just remember Leanne coming home, and at the time we were members of like the Craft Gin Club when it first started kicking off, and used to get the bottles of gin every month and the magazine, and used to read about all these start-up little micro distilleries and stuff like that. And it was fascinating to read, and we always used to say, wouldn't it be good? She came on one day, floods of tears. I've had enough. I want to do something different. I'd love to do something different from work. And me being quite brutal, just went, well, let's do it then, do something different.
Yeah.
And it was like, but I've got my job. I can't leave my job, stuff like that. So what can I do? I've been there like so many years. And I was like looking at all these bottles of gin in the kitchen going, well, you know, I seem to be pretty good at drinking this gin, lad. As you do.
You do.
And it was sort of born out of an inspiration from those magazines, really. Is like, well, how do we do this? So we said, we made an agreement, we made a pact, said, let's meet 1 year from now and let's see if we can do this. You know, if we don't try it, we'll never know. So we spent a year working out, how do you distill? You know, where do you, what do you do? How do you learn to distill?
Yeah.
Like, so it was like, right, watch episodes of Moonshine. What do they do? It can't be that hard. And then gradually, bit by bit, going on different courses, learning different skills. I went down to, you watch Sunday Brunch?
Sunday Brunch, yeah.
Joy, yeah. So the guy who comes on there, Olivia Ward, from one of the big hitters in the gin world. I went down to his distillery down in Fulham and learned all about how you open up a distillery, what you need to do, everything that goes with distilling, stuff like that. And just kept practicing. And Leanne's part in all that was her taste. Her palate is unbelievable. She can pick up notes, tasting notes, stuff like that. She can just pick it out. So I'd be like developing the gin. We had an idea of what we wanted. Sort of the inspiration was, you finish work 5 o'clock, you get home from the rat race, you just want to sit in the garden on a nice sunny afternoon and have something that tastes really nice and fresh and light. And that was sort of what we tried to put in the glass. That was the scope. How do we get it so it's that nice, light, fruity, but got that citrus hit that you get with gin? Yeah. And just kept working on it. I think seven batches before we got it. And it was daft little things, like we'd be walking the dog, foraging down the country lanes and going, well, let's try putting this in, let's try putting that in. And we had it almost right, which is in a head. She said, it still doesn't taste like I want it to. And it was like, well, what's these? Elderberries. Let's stick them in and see what it does. And it was really trial and error. And it was like the magic ingredient that all of a sudden it just created. It was like, yes, whatever you've just done, that's it. Now,
Leanne, what was that thing you just picked up off the floor? Get some more. Go back and get that bush. Get some more of it. That's what we need.
Well, it was crazy. It's like working on little Chinese stills in the kitchen to begin with, practicing, setting the kitchen on fire, all sorts of stuff like that. I mean, just as well I worked for a kitchen manufacturer at the time, so I could replace it.
That's a good thing to know. Anybody that's going to start their own still in the kitchen, Paul's a good person to know.
Yeah, be careful.
Did you go straight from having the idea, Leanne came home from work going, shit, I hate this place, I want to leave. Hi, everybody, by the way. I want to tell us what you're drinking. I want to leave, and you're surrounded by gin. And trust me, I know that feeling. Not so much with the job, but certainly being surrounded by gin. And did you go straight into distilling for yourself, or did someone distill for you at the beginning, or you went straight for it yourself?
If we were going to do it, we wanted to be authentic, and we do this. And literally, we are the quintessential sort of craft distillery. That is us. We do everything, bottling, labeling. So we design the label ourselves, we market it ourselves, we bottle it, distill it, seal the label, definitely drink it ourselves, deliver it ourselves, everything, as much as we can do ourselves, we do. When you see us on the stalls, it's us, where it's the owners. We're
literally
everything. Whole kit and caboodle is me and Leanne doing it. So yeah.
I was just going to say, so she's got Leanne, bless her, has gone from doing whatever job she did previously, whatever her work was, to now being full-time. Is she full-time doing this now, or is she still working?
No, we both still work full-time.
Oh, my good Lord.
Most days are like 16-hour days. Every day is a 16-hour day. Weekends are now taken up doing gin. What we did, we said, like, after a year, we got back and said, yeah, okay, we can do this. Let's try and build this business up. So we had like the 5-year plan, and year one was all about just getting out there and letting people know that Darlington has its own little distillery. Year two was about establishing ourselves in the local area in the northeast and getting that good reputation for good quality gin. And this is like year three that we're going into. In October, it'll be year three, and it's about growing the business, growing the premises. And hopefully during year three, that would be the point where we can make that first step where Leanne would either go part-time or hopefully better still, let's take the plunge and get to where we want to get to. And year five would be, sort of the bar with the distillery in the background, all that sort of thing. So far, everything we said we wanted to do, we've ticked the boxes. So we're getting there.
Yeah. It's what? Sorry.
It's a lot of hard work.
It absolutely is, Darlo. Stephen's on. Great. Party started. Stephen and Bridget are on. It is a lot of hard work, and I think, you know, when I did the live the other day, you can tell the attention to detail and the thought that's gone into this gin. It doesn't need any fancy bells and whistles. It is a incredibly high quality, good gin, and the fact that you guys are running your lives and your jobs around this business is, I mean, imagine what can happen when you are able to take that step. And that's what happens as a small business owner, isn't it? You do everything. Oh, John Eldridge says, I've tried your gin and it's beautiful. And Bridget's loving it. Everybody's like loving Darlow. I've never had so much engagement with Darlow in my entire life, but here we are. So tell me about right at the beginning. So, because I Googled you guys. I want to know about the name.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about the name. So talk to me about the name, and you mentioned crowdfunding.
Yeah. Okay.
Tell me what happened there.
So once we decided that we wanted to do this and we wanted to launch something, it was a case of how do we raise the funds for this? We didn't have any clue about getting funding from local authorities and stuff like that. Right. So it was like, where was it? I'd read something about crowdfunding through the local football club, and it was like, okay, let's try that and see what we can do. And we raised more than we thought we were going to raise, and it was enough to get us off the ground and up and running. You know, a few £1,000 just to get us up and running, which is what we wanted. Get us the equipment, fit the distillery out, and just get us to a point where we could start distributing our gin. And that meant we had certain people who'd come along on the journey with us, which we sort of liked. Yeah. Our founder members, if you like, who played a massive part in getting us up off the ground. So they've come, and they're still with us now. They're like follow our journey, and we'll do like an event, and they'll turn up. Well, I'm one of your crowdfunders. You know,
I love it.
You know, Peter, who's always on Facebook sharing our stuff. God love him. One of our biggest fans, and it's great to have that sort of relationship with people who have come on the journey with us and seen where we've got to and supported us, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. And quite a few people in Darlington are part of them crowdfunders, and we wanted, when we were designing this gin, once we got the gin flavour we were happy with, it was like, okay, what are we going to call it? I wanted, I'm very fiercely proud of Darlington, Darlow. I'm fiercely proud of it. It's a gritty town. It's a typical northeast town. You know, it's one of the most important towns in the world because we started the railways. So the railway, which was voted the most important invention ever, started in Darlington. So
okay,
we should be absolutely proud of that. And I feel the town should do more to promote itself. So my big dream is to create a tourist attraction for Darlington, where people come to Darlington and see the Quaker Distillery. So we were coming up with a name. Darlington Gin was too obvious. You know, it's been done. Oh, you look at it, Newcastle Gin, Durham Gin, Manchester Gin, Liverpool Gin. It was too obvious. So we wanted something that when people see it would automatically associate with Darlington in the local area. But equally, if you were down in Brighton or Dorset or somewhere like that, it wouldn't be instantly recognisable as, oh, there's that gin from Darlington, but it would possibly create a talking point. Quaker Gin, the Quakers. So again, I wanted to have something to do with the football club in there. I'm a huge Darlington fan, and obviously the original design was black and white hoops, which is the sort of logo for Darlington. It goes with the football club, black and white hoops. It's like signature. Obviously, Leanne, a bit classier than that. Like, no, we're not having that. So we came up with that photograph, which is from around the time when the football club was founded, around the 1880s. 1883 was Darlington's, and that picture's from around that era. But their nickname is the Quakers.
I didn't know that.
Yeah?
I'm the only person.
I think we're frozen.
I don't know what happened.
We're back. We're back.
I think my Wi-Fi crashed at the excitement
Of Quakers.
Wellington Football Club.
Yeah.
First time, well, I was going to say first time for everything. It did that when I was doing a presentation to 27 people the other day. So sorry about that, folks. Hi, everybody. I'm back. Yeah. So I didn't know football club, but I'm guessing that's because I'm not from the area. So that's a pretty well-known thing, right?
It is round here, yeah. When people say the Quakers, they associate with Darlington Football Club. Darlington itself was a Quaker town, so there was a big presence of Quakers, and there's still a lot of quirky little bylaws in the town that relate back to them days. So it was instantly recognisable as Darlington, the Quakers. Now, the controversial bit in there is that the Quakers didn't drink.
Right. So this is what threw me. And until just this moment, sorry everyone, I'm back. Hello, sorry we're back. Was thinking, is he a Quaker? And the Quakers don't. From what I know, Quakers don't drink. That's very controversial. Has he been kicked out because he started a distillery? How does that work?
Yeah, it was one that we were always a bit like, oh, I wonder how that'll be sort of taken. And we've had a number of Quakers contact us,
right?
And the feedback that we've had was positive. When we explained to them what it was about and what have you, we actually did an interview for a Quaker magazine in Brighton when we first started, because they were so pleased to see what was going on. And they actually told us that although they abstained from drinking alcohol, they were keen to make it themselves. So they used to brew their own beers and stuff like that and sell it. And it was all about good quality produce, good working conditions for the workers, even though they abstained from drinking it themselves. So it was like, great, okay. If the Quakers are on board with it, that's fine.
The Quakers are loving it. Yeah, sorry, the flavour. John has just said the flavour burst must have been too intense for the internet. So true. The excitement burst my Wi-Fi. So you started crowdfunding in 2019, 16, 17?
Late 17, early 18, yeah. And we met back up a year. It was 19th of February 2018 was a year since we'd agreed to see if we can make this gin. We'd got a name, we'd got a product, we'd got a label design that we sort of liked, that reflected what we were wanting. And then it was a case of, right, okay, now let's start building this business, going about getting all the licenses, things like that. And it was at that point that we started going down the route of looking for premises and things like that, and what can we do? And that's where my parents helped us out. So at the bottom of my parents' garden, there was like an old wash house that we converted, and we started doing it from there. And then we're in the process now of hopefully moving into the Darlington town centre. That would be cool if we can do that. If we pull that one off, and starting to move towards that next phase. We've outgrown where we're at now. We're too, it's not that we've got too big. We've got too much equipment, and we're producing too much volume to be able to do it efficiently. So, all part of that dream where me and Leanne and working together, it's starting to come together. It's really starting to come together, and we've got customers now all over the country, which is great. And the feedback we got from the tasting last week was great, which is fantastic. And so, we started down that route. And I think we'd been in business just about a year when we won the bronze medal at the IWSC.
Yes, let's talk about that. I've got the lid screwed up. Let's talk about this. Yeah. Tell me, where is it? Tell me a bit about this.
So we got asked to enter a bottle, and we did, not thinking anything about it. In fact, I'd forgotten all about it, to be honest, because you put it in and it's like 8-9 months later before you win it. And then we got an email saying, congratulations, you're a winner. And we're like, what? And I opened it and I'm like, really? Wow. And it went in against 800 other gin distilleries. And to win a bronze medal was like, wow. And you look at some of the ones that didn't win who'd entered, who are big corporate gin companies and things like that. And here's little old Darlow's gin winning a bronze medal, and it was to me, it was the culmination of all the hard work had paid off, and it gave me the confidence in the product. You know, we always believed in the product. We believed we produced a good gin. But when you get in some of the best experts and bloggers and things like that in the gin industry coming back and saying you've got a good product there, then it sort of it justifies what you've been doing, and it gives you the confidence to say that is a good gin, you know.
So where are you, which it is, and I'm about to have some more, not measured. Sorry, everybody, not being very irresponsible. Because the shopping's arrived, and I think that's what kicked me out. Wi-Fi. Morrison's turned up and threw us out. So I work with my husband. How do you find it working? You and Leanne working together. I should be asking Leanne this. Woman to woman, I feel I should be asking Leanne this. How is it going working together, especially on the evening? Right, this is your evening and weekend, and you've got full-time jobs.
Yeah.
How do you work together? How does it? She's got the palate and the nose, right? So
yes, yeah. She's got all the class, and I'm just all I'm all the other bit, you know. Silk and steel, yeah, that's how it should be. It works, you know what? It works when it works well. It works really well. I'm not going to say it's all sweetness and light. It's hard work, and you know, there's times when you end up arguing. It's difficult, and you know, I'm a pretty tough taskmaster, and if it's not done correctly and stuff like that, I'm, you know, and I have to remember, and I almost have to take myself into work mode, and as if I was treating someone at work. If I was working with them and they weren't quite understanding it, then I have to go into a little bit more detail, because they might be like, I call them a blue, where they like detail, and I have to have it explained to them. Whereas I'm used to working with a lot of people who are reds, and you just tell them something and off they go. So I almost have to put myself into my management mode and forget that it's a husband and wife, but it's a job. It's a job and it's work. And we, you know, when we're on the stalls and things like that, I think that's when we have the fun. Yeah,
that's the same with us. Yeah. When you're on show and it just works, you don't even have to switch it on. It's just there. But I can imagine. And then you add alcohol to it, add fuel to this fire. So talk to me about the range that we've got. So I have just over halfway through my bottle. So we've got this one, and this is what you started, right?
This is what we started with, and I was always quite keen to stay true to my roots, and I'm going to produce good quality gin, clear gin that is what I call official gin. And stick to a route. And then every time we're doing the markets and things like that, everyone's coming up to me asking for flavored gins and think, you know, when are you going to do a rhubarb gin? I'm like, I ain't going to do a rhubarb gin, you know. But we'll do some flavored ones. You know, you've got to cater to the market, and as nice as it is to stick to your principles, there's at the end of the day, it's a business, and you've got to do what the customer wants, and the customer demanded some flavors from us. So it was always the case of, if I'm going to do a flavored gin, I'm going to make it quirky. I'm going to do it a bit differently, and I'm going to try and do it rather than the easiest thing in the world would just to be to add some flavor into it and go, there you go, I've created a flavored gin. Try to do it through natural infusions, using natural fruits. So when we've got a sunshine gin. So the sunshine gin is our summer gin. Sunshine, yeah. So it's a summer gin. It's a one that we bring out. It's full of pineapple, mango, passion fruits, and we distill with them in there. So we soak the pineapple in the gin for 24 hours, along with the mango, and then the passion fruit we put in the gin basket so the vapors pass through it. Add a little bit of sugar at the end to sweeten it up a little bit, and it produces a really nice, clear, flavoured gin.
I'll take one of those. Yes, please.
Then we've got the blueberry, which is exactly the same, but then we soak the blueberries in there as well to get that flavour and the colour. And then we've got the ruby red, which you've obviously tasted, which is the one that I love to produce. I think it's quirky, it's different, it's a talking point.
Yeah.
Because of the ruby red, the red wine infusion that's in there. So again, it's we use a lot of the similar botanicals to the sunshine in that. There's pineapple and mango in there to give it that natural sweetness. We use a little bit of marshmallow root in there just to give it a natural sweetness. And then once it's distilled, we soak it with the red wine to give it that really deep red colour, which straight away is a talking point.
Yeah.
And so it takes on the look of a red wine. And I think you described it brilliantly the other day when you said it's like someone's had red wine in a glass, tipped it out, and then put the gin on top of it.
I did listen to that back yesterday and go, hey, you knobhead, that doesn't sound very nice. But it was the way I described the taste. That's how I described it. Is that there was once red wine in the glass, and they've not rinsed it out, and they've put gin into it, which is why you get that nice red wine warmth to it. But yeah, I did, and then you still get the beautiful gin flavors. But I did think that's not one of my finest moments in terms of describing.
We want that red wine infusion to be subtle. It's very subtle, and not when you see it deep red, you think automatically your brain tells you you're going to taste red wine. So
that's what I was scared of. That was the fear, wasn't it? I'm like that. Oh, it's red wine in a bottle.
You should have been sat at our end watching you review it.
I did think that. I did. My husband did say to me, how do you think you're scared of drinking it? How do you think they feel? They fucking made it and you're drinking it on camera. I was like, yeah, that's true.
That was nerve-wracking.
I know, the relief when I liked it and I watched it back and I was like, I do remember that feeling of, oh, thank God.
It is, but it is quirky. It is different. It is a good talking point, and we get people coming up to the stall going, "Oh, I don't like red wine," and no, try it, and then they try it and they're like, "Oh, wow, that's different. That wasn't what I was expecting." No, it's not. You know.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I get a lot of pleasure when I'm doing these events and stuff, because the feedback you get when people try your gin, go, "Oh, wow, that's amazing. That is unbelievable. I really like that." And you see. I watch the feedback myself, and you see the people's comments and stuff like that. You think, yeah, that's what makes it all worthwhile. That you're producing a good quality product that people really enjoy.
We've got some love here for Ruby Red.
Yeah, I tell you what, around Christmas time, it was absolutely flying out the door. I think because it was so different.
Louise is on order, waiting for it to arrive. He's just chatting at the minute, Louise. He'll be on it tomorrow after work. He posted it beyond. Oh, is it? Show us the full bottle, Paul. Let's have a look.
So there you go. Where's the camera? There you go.
Ruby Red edition. Nice. I can't, Louise. I want you to film yourself drinking it. I want to know what you think as well. I want to know if there's the fear. If you drink red wine, though, you're not going to have any fear. I just had a little bit of fear because I don't drink red. No fear was required. So, did you say you have a blueberry as well?
We have a blueberry as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Which goes really well with the flavored. The people who like the flavored gins, they really like the blueberry. Again, it's subtle. It's not overly sweet. It's just, first and foremost, it's a gin, and it's I think it's 43% again. So it is solid, good quality gin, and then you infuse it to get that subtle blueberry flavor. So again, it's not you're drinking it and it's like, oh my God, that's just like a blueberry liqueur. It's juniper forward with its tasting notes, so you can taste all the traditional. Juniper, the coriander seeds, you've got the angelica and the orris root in there as well, binding them flavors together. So to me that's important. It's got to be a gin first and foremost. It's got to have a good, strong presence.
So that makes me think that we're not going to see a bubblegum liqueur from Quaker.
Definitely not.
I've just got a feeling.
Definitely not. We've got the pink gin coming out very, very soon.
Okay, tell us what's the pink gin like? What's in the pink gin?
Is one that we've had so many people asking us to do a pink gin. We did one. We did a limited edition. Was it about 4 or 5 months after we first opened up? We did for Valentine's Day. We did a raspberry pink gin.
Okay.
It was really taking the base of that. I wanted to do a really good pink gin rather than just do something.
Paul, I honestly thought you said it was really taking the piss out of that, and I was like, yeah, okay, we're taking the piss out of pink gins by making
No.
You said base, didn't you?
Yes. A
All right,
good.
just checking. It's the Darlow thing. I've got to get with it. Taking
We
the
took
base.
the base notes, so the basic gin recipe, and just took it a little bit further and developed the depth of flavour to it. I think you'll notice with things like the Quaker gin, one of the good quality points of it is there's a lot of deep flavour to it. It just keeps rolling on the tongue. It's not a 30 seconds and it's gone. It keeps rolling.
It's not a sugar hit and then a gin hit. It's quite a complicated, full of got a lot going on.
Yeah. And so we wanted to do that with the pink gin. It wasn't just going to be a quick 30 seconds and the flavour's gone. So we've been working on the recipe, and one of the issues when you do pink gins and you do it through natural infusion, so strawberries, raspberries, is that you get a lovely pink flavour, and then 3-4 weeks down the line, it starts to fade, and the colours, the pink almost turns brown, and it doesn't look very good. So you've got to get it right. So that's why it's been a long time in development, and another week goes by where it hasn't changed colour, and it's been 6 weeks now and it hasn't changed colour. So we're about ready to go. So I think give me a couple of weeks and we'll start getting that on the production line.
And what I would say to that, Paul, also is nobody should have a bottle of your gin for longer than 6 weeks. Actually, if they're going to have it sat there longer than 6 weeks, you don't deserve it. Go and get something else that's going to sit on the shelf and you're just going to show off to your friends or cheap it. So John has said, have any of you tried using kiwi as a botanical?
Not yet, no, but it's an interesting one.
John.
Definitely an interesting one.
It would be an interesting one. I feel you need a lot of kiwis to get a kiwi flavour. Oh.
It's not a very strong botanical, is it?
No.
Well, probably have to put through a vapour basket because it would probably turn to mush in the still. So you'd want the flavours to pass through.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, Paul, actually, about putting it in the vapour basket. Yeah. That's why I drink it, you make it. Yeah. So we've got blueberry, ruby red, summer, and classic.
Yep. We've got...
Is pink coming then? Is that what you're saying? Pink's coming?
Pink. And then later this year, we're going to do an Old Tom. So we've got an Old Tom gin. Again, we're going to use local honey. So we've struck a relationship with local beekeepers.
Nice.
Again, working on the recipe there and just making sure that works. So that Old Tom's obviously an old traditional gin, a little bit sweeter because it uses things like honey and stuff like that. So we've got the local beekeepers producing really good quality honey. So we're going to use that in the gin as well. And that's all set to go later this year. So the bees are obviously around now. And then
very nice.
We've got the rum for the rum enthusiasts.
Hello, we've not talked rum yet. Oh, wait a second. Not right. Before we get on to rum, Lorna says, I have a big question. Bloody hell, Lorna. I was always told not to mix grape and grain. Do you guarantee it won't cause a hangover? Lorna, I feel you're looking for something that's not there. There's an answer. I'm going to let Paul as the expert because you're not asking me, Lorna. I'm pretty sure of that. Any opinions on that, Paul? Grape and grain?
Yeah. I've never had a hangover with good quality gin.
There you go.
Because one of the reasons why craft gin is so much more expensive is because we throw all the rubbish out. We make the cuts at the right point so that you get the best part of the gin during the distillation. So when we start doing our cuts, we throw the heads away, we throw a lot of the tails away, and we keep the hearts, which is the nice part of the gin. And believe it or not, it comes off the still at over 90% ABV. And it actually tastes really nice when it comes off at that. And you're tasting it and it's like, that's nice. Yeah, that's really nice. I like that. And then you realise it's 90-odd% proof.
I'll have one of them as well, please.
Yeah. So we throw all the rubbish away, whereas some of the more corporate gins will keep them in because it's all about profit and keeping waste to an absolute minimum. So, if you drink, I won't name the gins, but if you drink some of the biggest selling gins in the country and you have 4 or 5 of them on a night out, you'll start to get a bit of a sore throat because of the chemicals that have been left in there. Whereas you drink 4 or 5 of a local craft distillery's gin, you ain't going to get that. So to answer the question, will it cause a hangover? Only if you drink the full bottle.
which we can understand why you would. Andy, Paul, your gin is the best, hands down. Hands down, best gin. Rachel, super navy strength at 90%. I reckon you can't sell a gin at 90%. That's not a gin. It's not 90%. So you've just mentioned the R word, and Stephen has also mentioned it. Tell us, Quaker rum is good too. What are you doing in the rum space then?
Right. So we have a rum on the market called Black Diamond. So we try to differentiate from Quaker gin. Right. And went with something else. But again, it's got a Darlington theme. So Black Diamond was the third train to run on the world's first railway track. So I was looking at the names of the trains to see if we could come up with one that would make good. Yeah. The very first train, Locomotive 1, didn't really work. Nah. You know, I think Hope was the second one again. That didn't really work. And then I looked down the list and Black Diamond. I thought, Diamond, that works. That's a cool name. Yeah, so it is a cool name. We're having that. We'll work with that. And again, the label looks like a rum label, but there's subtle little references to the town. So the town clock, the train is on there. And you can just see little subtle references to Darlington in the label. But it looks just like a rum label. And it's full of caramel, vanillas, pineapple there as well. And the proof of the pudding in that one was, could I get Leanne, who doesn't like rum, to like rum? Well, I think that's an excellent marker of a good rum, because we know you make a cracking gin. So what happened then? So how was she? Was she up for doing rum from the beginning? Was she up for it anyway? No, the rum was something I wanted. She was like, I don't like rum, don't like that. But it was something I wanted. And the flavour profile that I had in there was, I wanted natural sweetness in there. So again, the pineapple, banana goes in there as well. Gives it that really nice, deep flavour. And then the caramels and the vanillas. So we age it in a barrel with vanilla pods in there as well, and French oak barrel. Nice. You get a really big hit of vanilla. And I had in my head this time what I wanted it to taste like. And when I tried it with one of the ginger ales that we work with, it was like, wow, that's it. And my next challenge was to get Leanne to like it. That was my challenge. If I could get Leanne to like rum, then I could try and convert other people who didn't like rum to start getting into rum. You know, I'm not going to say that rum is the best rum in the world, but it's a good entry rum for people who don't like rum to start getting into it. It's a little bit sweeter. So it's almost like a sipping rum, where people who don't like rum can start to like it and develop the flavors, and then they'll get a bit more adventurous. So that was the sort of the scope with it. And again, I think we tick the boxes on it. I really do. So should I meet you here next week to do rum? That's basically what I'm saying is a sample pack of 90% strength rum and sunshine. Have you got a bottle? Have you got a bottle there of the rum so you can show us the label? Is it to hand? Or is Leanne drinking it? She likes it that much. She's not going to. I'll look now to see if it's. Yeah, she'll get one. She'll get one there. Oh, it's Leanne on the sideline. Oh, hi, Leanne. Hi. Hi, lovely. So, how long has the rum been on the market then? Just before Christmas, we launched it. Okay. Yeah. So there it is. There. Apologies, it's nearly empty. Oh, nice. Yeah. Black Diamond. It's a really good name, Black Diamond. So you've got the references to the train here, and on the side you've got the gold trim, which has got the town clock on it, which is a big feature. Nice. And again up here. So it's subtle differences in terms of subtle references. Sorry, but yeah, it's quite cool and it goes really well. Selling like hotcakes at the minute. Oh, nice. So we've got the collection. So raspberry's coming. No, sorry, it's pink. Your pink gin is coming in. Pink gin's coming out in the next few weeks. Did you say? Yeah, I think by the end of July we'll have that on the market. Yeah. Nice, just in time for summer. And rum's coming. Anything else? You've just revealed a rum. Anything else in the pipeline that you know about? No, I think that's nothing you can reveal. Trying to hold down a full-time job as well, yeah. Yeah, exactly. And currently, is it right in saying that if people enter, what was the code? Is it lockdown? Lockdown 10. Lockdown 10 on the website.
Okay, I'm just going to write that. Lockdown 10 on the website for 10% off. So even us commoners outside of Darlow who don't know anything about Darlington, we're also enjoying them. Oh, Thea said, I should have ordered, let's see. Thea, I should have ordered a 20ml bottle of 20, I think you mean 20 centilitres, Thea, of Sunshine Gin when I ordered the full bottle. Oh, well, next time.
Well,
Lorna,
Thea's bottle's going out in the next couple of days, so if she wants to get on there and do it. We'll put it on the same box and get it out there together.
That with your halo there, Thea, you see? I remember. And Lorna is saying, I think we're planning some sort of group sip and share trip to Darlow to see you all. Staycation to Darlington to visit the distillery. Yes. Or Louise is bound to be in as well. Yes, you come everywhere, Louise, we know. Awesome. Okay, so lockdown 10 on the website, 10% off. Thank you so much. Thank you for do you know this person? Do you know that person? Love this call. They love
Mike's done some fantastic stuff for us. So in the lockdown, we decided to get ourselves in a position to come out of it stronger.
Yeah.
Because it was uncertain. Nobody knew what was going on sort of 10, 11, 12 weeks ago, however long it was. And I was recommended to work with Mike, and Mike redesigned our website. And, you know, a 30-minute phone call, and he nailed the brief. He absolutely nailed the brief. So I can't speak enough of what Mike and his team have done. It's been absolutely superb.
Nice. I love how Mike, I'm a marketing consultant, so good to know a good Webby. I love how Mike's so cool. He's got MYK. Like Mike and Mike. Thea, Darlington is in the northeast. Google it. Go up and across. So thank you so much for letting me taste your lovely gins live on camera and just continuing to drink them. Great website, Rachel's link. Look, Mike, your work is getting love outside of Darlow.
There you go.
Yeah, thank you so much for sending me those bottles. I'm very grateful for them. I've really enjoyed it, and it's really nice to meet Leanne. I saw Leanne really briefly when I called you the other day. So hi, Leanne. Well done on your nose. Oh, there she is. Oh, lovely.
She does exist.
Yeah, she is real. She's there. And yeah, massive respect to you for both of you for running full-time jobs and creating a great product. And I know you've got a relationship with the guys at Daisy Distillery and the little gin palace. Bridget is a little gin palace. So I will be up because I feel like I'm just entitled to come up and drink all of your gin and your rum with you now. I feel like I can't wait in Darlington next year. Oh look, your website's getting love. Easy to move around. Great website. Yeah, we're loving it.
Brilliant.
So thank you everybody for joining us this evening. I really appreciate it. Thank you all. Thank you, Leanne. And I will see you all on. I'm going to drink a lot of gin again on Friday. Yes. You're getting loads of love. Yeah. Thank you guys. So thank you. And I look forward to tasting. I look forward to tasting at some point soon. Hopefully, when I buy it, your Sunshine and your ruby, raspberry, pink.
Yeah, get on there and get some Merchant Hearts tonics. You need to get them tonics.
I know. I do need to get Merchant Hearts. In fact, I think Bridget might have referenced Merchant Hearts tonics to me previously. So I need to get some Merchant Hearts tonics and your gin. Right, everybody. Before my Wi-Fi kicks out, I better go see what Morrison's have delivered. Thanks, everybody. I will see you all on Friday. Thanks so much, Paul and Leanne.
Cheers. Bye now. Bye.
Bye, everybody. See you later. Thank you. Bye.